Hi, my name is Daphne Bickham, and today I will be talking about how my visual is used to explain symbols and themes of August Wilson's play Fences. So the play Fences is based on a Black American family in the 1950s, actually 1957, so this is before the Civil Rights Movement. Um, and the visual is appropriate because it represents the symbols and themes well. So one of the themes is love, and Troy's friend. Okay, so the family, they're called the Maxwood family, and one of the main characters, his name is Troy, and he has a wife named Rose and two children. One is from a previous marriage named Lyons, and the other one is named Corey. That's the kid that he has with his current wife, Rose. And he's talking to his friend named Bono. And Bono and him are talking about, he's talking about Troy's relationship with Rose, and because he knows that Troy isn't being faithful to his wife. And he says, well, that's all I got to say. I love you both. And then Troy says, I ain't talking or at some point he says, I ain't talking about doing Rose no bad turn. I love Rose. She done carried me a long ways, and I love and respect her for that. So that represents the theme for love. And then another theme that shows up quite a bit during the play is family. And this is happening, what I'm about to say is Troy and Corey, they're talking about sports, because Corey wants to be, I think he wants to be a football player, and his dad's just like, no, because he's thinking about all the racist stuff that he went through. So Troy says, like you, I go out here every morning, bust my butt, putting up with them crackers every day, because I like you? You about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. You understand that? Man got to take care of his family. So that represents the family theme. And that's why this is here. This is like the baseball bat and the glove, and then that's the baseball that's made of like rags, and it's tied to the tree. Another theme is mortality. Troy is 53 years old, and he battled pneumonia at one point, and here when he's talking to he's talking to Bono and Rose, and he's saying, I wrestled with the death for 3 days and 3 nights, and I'm standing here to tell you about it. And then sometime later when he's drinking, Rose says, you're going to drink yourself to death. You don't need to be drinking like that. And then Troy says, death ain't nothing. I done seen him, done wrestled with him. You can't tell me nothing about death. Death is just a fastball on the outside corner. And that's also like a reference to baseball. And then also, this is supposed to be death right here. There's the grave. And then that's like a Sith theme. This is supposed to be like a reaper who comes. Another theme is hopes and dreams. And Corey, like I said, he wants to be a football player, but Troy is like strongly against it. And he goes to Corey's like school, and he tells the coach he's not going to be playing football. He needs to focus on school and work. So this is after Corey finds out, because Corey's a senior in high school. What'd you do that for, Pop? And then his mom says, what's the matter? Corey says, or no, she says, what's the matter, Corey? And then Corey says, Papa done went up to the school and told Coach Zellman I can't play football no more. And then Rose says, Troy. And Troy says, what you troying me for? Yeah, I did it. And the boy know why I did it. Corey says, "Why do you want to do that to me? That was the only chance I had." So that represents the hopes and dreams, which is again in this area right here. And then death again, it's a theme, and wait, sorry, no, it's not a theme. Okay, so next we're going on to symbols, and here, these are like roses, and then here's a fence, and the fence and the roses, I put the roses here because I thought of the wife rose, and usually for roses, they're given out for Valentine's Day, and it's like a symbol of love. And then the fence, Rose wanted that fence built because she wanted to keep her family in, and she loved them. And Bono, when he's talking to Troy, says, some people build fences to keep people out, and other people build fences to keep people in. Rose wanted to hold on to you all. Rose loves you. So that's, this right here is just like a symbol for love. And then another symbol is trains, and this is after Rose finds out about Troy's indiscretions, and and then it fast forwards by like 6 months, and then the woman that he had an affair with had his baby because he got her pregnant, and she dies during childbirth, or after she births the child. And so Troy is sitting outside of his house, and Rose is inside, and Troy says, "Oh, I've been homeless before. I ain't had no little baby with me, but I've been homeless. You just be out on the road by your lonesome, and you see one of them trains coming, and you just kind of go like this." And then he sings a song. "Please, Mr. Engineer, let a man ride the line. Please, Mr. Engineer, let a man ride the line. I ain't got no ticket, please let me ride the blinds." So that's what this train is here for. It symbolizes that barrier that he's trying to cross, and this is like the barrier. And then baseball is another symbol. It's a symbol just for the stuff that Troy went through because he was an ex-con. He went to jail for self-defense because he was like stealing stuff, and then he had like a knife because he was planning on robbing someone, and the person took out a gun and they shot him, and he stabbed them and ended up killing them, and he went to jail for like a really long time. But Rose stood by him. So baseball stands for Corey, and it also stands for Troy. And something that they say is, or Corey and Troy, when they're talking, Corey says, "The Pirates won today. That makes 5 in a row." And Troy says, "I ain't thinking about the Pirates. Got an all-white team. Got that boy, that Puerto Rican boy, Clement. Don't even half play him. That boy could be something if they give him a chance. Play him one day and sit him on the bench the next. He gets a lot of chances to play." And then Troy says, "I'm talking about playing regular," because he's talking about like the injustices that go on against like people who are different colors in like sports, and he doesn't want his son to go through that. That's why he doesn't want him to play football either. And another thing, it's like happens like much later, but it's oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so the devil. Troy mentions the devil at one point, and his wife Rose tells him that he only mentions that the only time he calls something the devil is if it's something that he doesn't understand. And also, the devil is like represents evil, and like racial injustice, so many other things that are just like evil and hateful, the devil represents that. So that's why the devil is here. Um, and then, like 8 years later, in like 1965, Troy dies. And over here, I have the sun because the sun represents light, and it's like almost like freedom. So it's like Troy is free. And also, he has a brother named Gabe, who constantly like talked about Judgment Day and how Troy needed to get ready and all this other stuff. So I kind of considered the sun as like the gates um, to heaven, and down here it's a little garden that his daughter Raynell planted, and she was just staring at it in Corey's old room. And it was the day of the funeral, and she said, she was just staring at it, and her mom was just like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, I'm waiting for these to grow." And Rose says, Rose tells her that it isn't going to grow overnight. Here, it says, "I told you it ain't going to grow overnight. You got to wait." And it kind of makes you think of just like new life, because her dad died, and so she's going to grow up without a dad. And it's like you don't really know what life is going to bring. It's like you're still young, you're still like growing, and it's like you just kind of have to wait and see as you grow up. And overall, this was really just about Troy. The play was mainly about Troy and his struggles, and he went through like so much as a kid. Like he was beaten, and he went through racial injustice, and that stuff. It was just rooted deep, and it just kind of like was just a chain, and that was just holding him back, and he was just so just rooted into that he couldn't move out of it. Like he was stuck there, and ultimately his family paid the price for it.